Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Yeah, you can tell this is my first map. It's pretty old. I made it back in 2021. And its age definitely shows. The looks are alright. I think they're pretty good considering it is made all the way back then. And the gameplay is a completely different story. It's a combination of a lot of things, but ultimately it's everything I hate in Piggy build mode. Whether it's the ridiculously large map that seems to go on forever, or just a feeling of emptiness as the bot gets completely lost and has no effect on gameplay. That and also the map is just genuinely confusing and might as well be labeled a labyrinth. So I wanted to go over them because I see these things happening a lot in build mode, and weirdly enough, I haven't heard a lot of people talk about them. So I would like to sit down, take a moment, and go over each of these issues and maybe ways you can look at them and address them in your own maps. So, I'm going to start off with the first and quite literally biggest issue I have with the map, that being its size. It's just huge. It's a chungus. I think force is about 39 blocks by 39 blocks, which is big. It's big, but you know, it's still acceptable. This map is whopping 59 blocks by 59 blocks, and it has like 6 different floors. Yeah, just a tad bit excessive. I don't know what past me was thinking of. I don't think past me was thinking at all, like, yes, bigger means better. I'm gonna build the biggest, bestest map, and people are gonna like it, even if it takes them 30 minutes to complete. Yeah. But all in all, that size does lead to a really long gameplay, and most of the gameplay really suffers for it, because it's just backtracking. For example, to get white key for the exit, which is underneath the spawn area, by the way, and you can't see it either. It's the last room you open up, so you have no idea how to escape until then. But to get white key, you need to start out on the bottom floor and pick up a plank. Then you need to go all the way to the stairwell, or the main spiral staircase. This staircase is the main component of all the backtracking in the map. It's quite devious, if I say so myself. And then, oops, you need hammer. So you run off, you get hammer, and then you come back, you open up the hammer door, and now you can get on the roof. Go back, get that plank you got earlier, and take it up to this little dome area and place down that plank. Good. Now you get to go all the way back down that staircase, get another plank, go all the way back up to the roof, place down that plank, do it again, because you need 3 planks. Then you can walk all the way over to white key, and then you can walk all the way back down that staircase, and now you can go to the exit and use your white key. You still need to actually open the exit and use wrench before you can use the white key, which, funny enough, the wrench is also in the room right before the roof, so that means you have to go all the way back up that spiral staircase again. Yeah, the backtracking has a little bit of an issue. And it's even more of an issue because none of the gameplay changes. I mean, maybe you'll encounter Piggy. That's an issue of its own. I'll get to that momentarily. But hopefully I was able to convey the issues of having a large map. Large maps inherently aren't an issue, but their gameplay tends to be a lot trickier to actually deal with. Normally, you want to balance out your map size. There's a little Goldilocks zone. I find that about a 30 block by 30 block footprint, or really, yeah, 30 block by 30 block to 40 block by 40 block. That is the ideal floor plan you want for a map. It's not too small, not too big. And you may ask, well, why not just make my map super small? Let me just tell you about Gallery. if you've ever played Gallery, you will know that there's really two ways a round goes. Either everybody escapes before Piggy spawns, and Piggy is unable to do anything. They just sit there in utter confusion, as there are no players, the game already ended the second they spawned in. Kinda crappy. Or it goes the other way. The players take too long, Piggy spawns in, and utilizes every choke point in that tiny map, fills it with traps, and then covers the entire floor with traps because it's just so small they can easily toss down 2 snowmen and shut down the entire map like that. It just happens so quickly that there's no time for either side to do anything. It's a shutout either way. So yeah, Goldilocks zone. Keep in mind how large your map is while making it. Typically planning it out beforehand is a good idea. And test it to check if it's too large. There's no magical number, it's just, do you like the gameplay? If you do, well then, that's good. I mentioned earlier Piggy doing literally nothing, and that happens on big maps because, well, Piggy gets lost, especially if it's a bot. Bots are stupid. And that's another thing I really don't like about this map, is that the bot, although it's there, it doesn't affect gameplay at all. I mean, occasionally it'll chase you, and there are some tight corners on the map, especially one of the sets of staircases at spawn, which are really devious because they're only a block wide. And if you're making a choke point like that, you're an evil monster who either needs it to balance out the map, or love having a Piggy-wide hallway where Piggy just becomes an unstoppable wall of death. For the most part, Piggy is nowhere. I could have made this better by, well, making the map smaller, but also thinking about how the physical geometry of the map actually influences how players play. There's a magical thing called flow in game development, and that's the paths that people tend to take while just walking through a space. If you place down obstacles around that flow area that people can't walk through, it's going to affect the flow. People aren't going to go in a straight line or anything. They're going to start taking random paths around that. What I'm trying to get at is that you can use this to kind of influence the flow of a map. And in a way, a little devious if I do say so myself, subconsciously encourage players to play a specific way. Unfortunately, I was not thinking about that at all when I made this map, and so the gameplay is pretty boring. There's no interesting corners or tight hallways that actually do something for the gameplay. If there's a tight hallway, I just put it in there because I thought it's cool. Then you have the puzzle room. I love the puzzle room. No, just kidding, I hate this. This is the worst part of the map, and the parts that could honestly die in a fire. Why is the puzzle room so bad, you may ask? Well, it utilizes the color block mechanic. Raise your hand if you know exactly how the color block mechanic works in Piggy build mode. Yeah, I thought so. So not only is it a mechanic that players don't really know what it does, it's also not really introduced anywhere else on the map except for 2 other spots. One comes before this room, and the other is at the very end, which it doesn't really have any impact on gameplay, and initially it's just used as a way to get to the next area without even thinking about it. You just step on this little brown button, and boom, now you can go over here. It's almost like putting a key in a door and then completely forgetting about it. So, if that's the furthest I ever explained in this map, then it's totally a great idea to make an entire giant puzzle with like 7 different buttons. And I even used some of the reverse ones, so good on me. I basically set players up for failure for this puzzle. It's so bad that there's just notes around the puzzle telling players how to actually beat it. Which even with those, nobody I saw ever actually beat the puzzle. And part of that is also because nobody knows what the goal of the puzzle actually is. You see, when you first come down the stairwell into the puzzle room, you're greeted with a TNT door on the other side of the room. Now, there are two lines of thought when you see this TNT door. There is, ooh, that means that there's a piece of TNT in this room that I need to find. Alright? Or, there's the line of thought of, crap, I missed a piece of TNT somewhere else in this gigantic map, and I need to walk back and get it. Just like, you had to walk back to get every other item you needed to open a door. I love backtracking, totally. So, here's the secret third line of thought, which is the correct one, that nobody will ever think. The TNT is on the other side of the door. You see, the door is not the goal of the puzzle, unlike how this lovely staircase into the room frames it perfectly and draws it instantly into the player's attention, clearly making them think that this is the way to beat the puzzle. No, the way to beat the puzzle is all the way up on this random section of ceiling that you need to get up to by using these color blocks. Yeah, it's totally obvious. And by the way, it's really out of the way, like, you have to actively be looking for it. So that's pretty annoying. But once you go up there, you can fall down in the room behind it, and then use the TNT on the door opening it. Hooray! You solved the puzzle! So it turns out that the thing I was talking about with, subconsciously telling players what to do by the way you place things down in your map, it also shows itself over here in how I completely misused it. You see, when a player walks through a doorway, have you ever noticed how, the player is forced to look in a specific way? Or at least just in a way that feels natural when you go through the door. This is called framing. It's almost like you have a little picture frame through this door, and you want players to look at it, and they typically want to look at it as they go through the door. And so this TNT wall is perfectly framed so that players will see it, and making note that this TNT door is here. Not the solution to the puzzle, the TNT door. If I had made the solution to the puzzle framed from the get-go, players would more likely be able to think on their own, this is where I need to go. How do I get there? By using these buttons, which the game hasn't explained to me at all, and hasn't really used anywhere else in the map. So, 2 failures in 1. Just keep in mind where players are looking when making your map. Run through it, see where you tend to look, and if that could possibly be misleading to newer players who haven't played your map. Now, this is already pretty bad, but there's just one extra little thing, and funny enough, that's the room beyond the puzzle, the very next room, and that is the acid parkour. Now, it's very simple in nature. You just jump around some stuff on the floor, super easy, and if you touch the glowing green stuff on the floor, you have to restart the map. Just a tiny mistake, nope, straight back to the start. Nuh-uh, can't have any of that, no leniency. You touch, the main test of this map is not touching the green stuff on the floor. It sounds a bit absurd, but that is essentially what this is. It's just a room that kills you if you touch the floor. Pretty crappy if I say so myself. It's just overly punishing, and I don't think it's as big of an issue in maps nowadays, mostly because maps nowadays don't use a crap ton of acid. They do occasionally use kill blocks, and every now and then there is a completely random use of a kill block that leaves me completely dumbfounded. Like, why did you put this here? Why does this thing kill me? It's just, don't be super punishing to players, and make your map's language consistent. Like, if there's something that typically kills players, like a really long fall, then all long falls should probably kill players. Or, if every long fall doesn't kill players, but then there's this one random 3-block pit that kills players, really? Just make the pit not kill players and put a ladder out of it. That's what I should have done. No acid, just a small pit that players fall into. They can climb back out of it. Super easy. So, yeah, that's pretty much this map in a nutshell. It's really bad. And so I want to go over the biggest takeaway from all this. Alright, what am I trying to get at? What do all of these things have in common? That I've slightly spoke just a little bit about every now and then. That is to playtest your map. Alright? I'm not talking about play it once and then call it good, and it's only you playing. No, don't. Bring some friends along. Get some happiness in there. Really feel how the gameplay is. Experience it. If you don't like it, change it. Reflect upon, why is the gameplay like this? What part of it am I not liking? I'm probably overcomplicating it. And there's a couple of bonus strategies that helps with playtesting, like playtesting before you add all the decorations to your map. Normally in game development, there's something called gray boxing, where you make all the geometry, but without colors. It's just a bunch of gray boxes, because you don't want to devote time to making something look cool before you know it is really fun to play. Because if you add all these decorations and stuff, and then you realize that, oh, this isn't fun to play, the way to change if it's fun to play or not is by moving the physical geometry around, which thus means you have to move a bunch of decorations around, which can take hours. So if you're just moving some gray boxes around instead of highly detailed walls, it takes like 10 seconds. And while building, just keep gameplay in mind. It's not that hard. Just think, alright, why am I putting this section here? What purpose does it serve? How does it affect the game? Alright, I'm going to test it now to see what value does this add to the map as a whole. That's kind of all I have to say. I don't like this map. I don't hate it either. It still has some nice points, like added a bit of a background, which I love backgrounds. They're awesome. And I actually really like the lobby for the map. Not a lot of maps have lobbies, or at least the ones that I've seen. If they do, it's just promoting their Piggy build mode series, which, hey, that's alright. There's nothing wrong with that. But I like a good old-fashioned lobby for whenever you're hosting it and people are screaming at you to actually start the round. So, there's one last order of business, and that is, if you want to go play the map, go play it. See why it's so crappy, and if you can actually beat this thing, I will be thoroughly surprised. Yeah, my user is chessnew1. I'm going to put it on the screen as well so you can see it and actually type it in. There's no caps, there's nothing, that's just my user. The name of the map is Cathedral. Crazy. Yeah. Another thing before I end this off, I was actually pretty scared of making this video. I don't know why. I think I'm just afraid of voice acting, or not voice acting, just speaking in the microphone. And honestly, perfectionism got a hold of me. But it's fine, I'm doing it now. It works. This is a really long video, especially for a Piggy video that isn't for a Piggy series. Who knows, maybe I'll make this a series, like tips and tricks for build mode, but it's not just 3 tips and tricks, it's just general advice. But ooh, speaking of general advice, let me know down in the comments if you saw this video and you've thought, ooh, I learned something new, or maybe I didn't think about it that way, or maybe you've already thought about this and I'm just stating common knowledge. I probably am stating common knowledge, but there's no way to know. Anyhow, if you're actually this far into the video and, I don't know, are still listening to me ramble on, I hope you have a nice day. Thank you for listening, and maybe I'll do something like this again. See ya!